Hey everyone, I'm the Canadian Lad, and today I watched Captain America Civil War at 0.2 Febix speed and found 22 new details that I guarantee you haven't seen before. And I promise you I won't repeat any details from my previous breakdown, where I had found 25 details. So once you're done watching this, please head over to that video which is equally good. Now before I begin, imagine this for the next 1 minute. What if Raid Shadow Legends sponsored this video? You would hear all about its 700 plus unique champions, incredible graphics, and intense PvE and PvP content. Luckily for you, this video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends, since Raid offers so many champions with unique looks, traits, and skills. To celebrate Raid's 4th anniversary today, I'm gonna talk about which Raid champions I would invite to a dinner party. First off, we will need a burn champion to reheat the food. Food at a party is always the most important, and my pick is Cupidus. And it's a good idea to invite a freeze champion as well to keep the party drinks cold. Ice Golem would be perfect for that role. It also wouldn't hurt to have someone there with the muscle, to make sure no uninvited guests decide to turn up. Gallic is perfect for that. And last but not least, I'd invite a Dungeon Dragon, simply because it'd be awesome. And there's more. I'm talking dedicated offers, free gifts, promo codes, and events, including a brand new fusion event where you can get anniversary-themed legendary champions. Use the promo code 4YearsRaid to get 4 skill tombs legendary, 4 energy refill, 400 energy, and 400,000 silver. You'll also get to stroll down memory lane with a recap video of your game stats. Amazon Prime members who just got Ganbo, keep an eye out for the next drop with powerful Savage gear, available until March 30th. And as always, new players can scan the QR code or use my link to get a free starter pack with this awesome loot. Okay, so let's begin. Number 1. Civil War begins by showing us a Hydra base from 1991, and the code to unlock this vault is 17826. Now when you look at a telephone keypad, these digits spell out Stan, which you may think is a reference to Stan Lee, but no, it's actually a reference to Sebastian Stan. And the reason I say this is because this vault was made to safeguard this red book, which activates our Winter Soldier. So it would make more sense if it's a reference to Sebastian Stan, who plays Winter Soldier, rather than Stan Lee. Number 2. At the beginning of the film, when we see the Winter Soldier kill Howard Stark and his wife, their Winter Soldier was riding a motorcycle. Now notice the license plate here. It says CA525, which could be a reference to Captain America Volume 5, Issue 25. This series of comics picks up right after the storyline of Civil War, and in Issue 25, Captain America is shot dead while Bucky Barnes is revived as the Winter Soldier, just like in this movie. Number 3. The first time we see Vision in this movie is when he interrupts Wanda and Steve by walking through the wall into Wanda's room. Seeing Vision, Wanda of course gets caught off guard, and then she says, "Viz, we talked about this." Now I found a very interesting detail here. Notice the moment Vision penetrates the wall, the first thing that comes through the wall is his left hand, and that is the exact moment as well when Wanda realizes someone is about to enter their room. So even before Vision's whole body could walk through this wall, Wanda realized it the moment Vision's hand penetrated the wall. And the reason I would give credits to the VFX team for this is because they're the ones who timed it perfectly. They're the ones who CGI'd Vision's entry in a way that would match with Wanda's eye movement, and therefore we can now say Wanda has very good reflexes. Number 4. When General Ross breaks the news of a new accord called the Sokovia Accords, notice he does something here that only someone like him would do. An aide hands him the Sokovia Accords, which he slides across the table to Wanda. Not Rhodey, Wanda. You see, Ross could have handed it to Rhodey first, which would have made more sense as he's the one who understands how countries and accords work. But the reason Ross slided it across to Wanda first is to guilt trip her, to tell her that you are the reason this accord exists. You are the reason behind so many innocent deaths in Lagos. And I think that's a very sinister move from General Ross. And kudos to Elizabeth Olsen as well, who acted the part perfectly, where she gets a bit uncomfortable the moment Ross hands over the accords to her. Number 5. Bucky and Cap both jump from the same building to another, but only Cap is able to land smoothly, while Bucky crash lands onto this roof. Goes to show that Cap is a much better super soldier than Bucky. Number 6. At this point, we all know that Black Panther's suit is sound absorbent, and that's why it doesn't make any noise when he lands from a great altitude. I discovered this detail already in my previous breakdown, but let me give you something else this time. In the underpass, where Bucky, Black Panther, and Cap are running through the traffic, there's a whoosh noise when Bucky and Cap pass through the camera. But when Black Panther runs past, there is no such sound effect. This is just incredible to me. I mean, the fact that they would ensure such small continuity details is why I love watching Marvel films in slow motion. Number 7. Between Cap, Bucky, and Black Panther, Cap is the one who runs the fastest. So let me tell you how I figured that out. Notice when the camera shows us Bucky, the camera has enough time to roll back and focus on Black Panther. But after Black Panther runs past, the camera doesn't even get enough time to pan back to Captain America. He already gets in the frame, so he's faster than the camera can move. And this proves that Cap sprints at the highest speed between all three of them. Number 8. In this same chasing sequence, Black Panther leaps like an actual panther from the real world. Number 9. In Iron Man 1, Obadiah Stane struggles to make an arc reactor small enough to fit his armor. But in this movie, after 8 years, we can see a small arc reactor in Tony's wristwatch. Not only that, the sonic blast, the flashing beam, and the bulletproof construction, all of this are being powered by this tiny little arc reactor. And here's the deal. Scientists at Stark Industries couldn't even resize their original arc reactor to a shape where you could fit it in your chest. But Tony not only created an arc reactor that he can wear in his suit, but made another one small enough to fit inside his wristwatch. Number 10. When Hawkeye comes to take Wanda from the Avengers compound, Vision stops him and Hawkeye tries to fight him. Now at one point, Clint kept throwing punches at Vision, and Vision didn't even blink. Now notice as soon as Clint starts throwing punches, Vision increases his body density to a level where his body almost became like a metal. That's why the VFX team added this metal effects around his face so we can visually see Vision increasing his body density. Number 11. After Vision gets Clint in a headlock, Wanda intervenes and Clint slowly slips away from Vision's grasp. Now notice exactly what Wanda did here. She now took control over Vision's body and decreased his density so that Clint can escape from his grab. Now notice what the VFX team did here. As soon as Wanda takes control over Vision's body, Vision's yellow mind stone on his forehead turns red, which is Wanda's powers, indicating Wanda is now dictating Vision's density level, not the mind stone. Wanda is of course able to do this because they're both powered by the Mind Stone. I've watched this movie so many times and I never noticed Vision's Mind Stone turning red here. Number 12. In this iconic scene where Spider-Man catches Bucky's fist, notice Spider-Man was never trying to stop a punch here. Instead, he was trying to throw one himself. His action in slow motion quite clearly indicates Spider-Man was about to throw a punch, but as soon as he noticed Bucky's metal arm, he got defensive and caught Bucky's fist instead. This shows just how quick of a thinker Spider-Man is in the battleground. Number 13. The first time we ever see Peter using his Spidey sense in the MCU is in this movie and not in Infinity War, even though many still believe it is. Notice when Bucky throws a huge object towards Spider-Man, even before it got close to him, Spider-Man's eyes were already dilating. So that's his Spidey sense at work, which happened in this movie than in Infinity War. Number 14. I always wondered, did Cap even know that Spider-Man is strong enough to hold a falling jetway? But this time while watching I realized, yes, Cap did know just how physically strong Spider-Man is. And let me tell you how. Before Captain America drops this multi-ton jetway onto Spider-Man, despite having just met Spidey, he knows it won't kill him, because just seconds earlier, he had the perfect opportunity to gauge his strength. That's right, I'm talking about this scene where Spider-Man webs both of Cap's hands and holds him back. Cap knew that if Spidey could hold him back, he could hold back a jetway. So Cap wasn't trying to kill Peter Parker. He just figured out his strength already, even though he just met him. Number 15. In the very next scene, Spidey webs Cap's shield, but Cap reverses it and uses the web to pull Spidey into a clothesline using his shield. This shows Cap's brilliant combat skills and that he has learned a way to counter Spidey's webs. Captain America is the only one who can adapt this quickly in the MCU, whether it's using Mjolnir against Thanos or using Spidey's own webs against him. Number 16. And this one is my favorite because it's very subtle. Spidey does a backward somersault off the jetway, using his web as a slingshot to propel himself toward Cap. Then launches another web at Cap, which Cap dodges and then delivers a strong flip kick to Spidey's gut. So Cap is using all the momentum from the swing against him, and Spidey goes flying into the support of the jetway and then lands hard on the ground. Cap then uses his shield to break the already weakened support, causing the jetway to fall on Spidey, who instinctively catches it, bearing the full weight with his hands. And here's what I love. I love the fact that the Russo brothers showed us a close-up of Spidey when needed, a close-up of Cap when needed, and a wide shot to give us a better perspective. For example, when Cap throws his shield to weaken the support of the jetway, we see it in a wide shot, so that we can see the enormity of the jetway. The transition between these close-up shots and the wide shots is what I love about the Russo brothers. They make movies from the audience's perspective. Number 17, and this one is gonna be the last detail from this scene, but before that I'll play it out for you.
You got hard, kid. Where you from? Queens?
Brooklyn.
Notice when Cap asks Spidey where he's from, as he was answering, Spidey's whole body started shaking. As a result, the jetway slowly sinks a little bit. This happened because when talking to Cap, Spider-Man lost a little bit of focus on holding the jetway. Had he not been talking, it would have been easier for him to hold the jetway up. These details, man, I can't believe I didn't catch them the first time around. Number 18. Ant-Man says to reach Cap and Bucky, they'd have to go through him.
Want to get to them? You gotta go through me.
And funnily enough, Vision literally goes through him later on. Number 19. Whenever we see Vision flying, of course he's able to do it because he can lower or raise his body density. But notice we can visually see it too. Whenever he flies or hovers above the ground, we can see through him, meaning he lowers his density to make his body lighter, which then gives him flight power. Number 20. When Zemo reveals it to Tony Stark that Bucky was the one who killed his parents, for the first time, I have now noticed a little bit of tear in Bucky's eyes as well. Oh man, this makes this whole thing much more emotional. You can tell that Bucky feels guilty even though he had no choice, and we can also see how Steve is feeling helpless here. Man, I felt for all three of them here. Such incredibly written characters. Number 21. During the final fight, Steve destroys Tony's left boot jet. As a result, Tony's left-hand repulsor is giving off a stronger thrust to compensate for his left boot jet. Another amazing visual detail. Number 22. In this movie, Cap, Bucky, and Sam Wilson, all of them wear hats that match the color of their respective suits. And that's it. This would be my second breakdown of Captain America Civil War at 0.2 Febic speed. Including the previous breakdown, I've now found a total of 47 details from this movie, and I'm so proud of the work that I've done in this one. This movie was incredible. The story was amazing, the actors acted their ass off, and the CGI details are out of this world. Civil War has everything. Drama, suspense, action, compelling story, a very precise plot, and of course incredible direction from the Russo brothers. Now, in order to get back to the good old days, Marvel will have to go back to see what they have done right. Just follow that footprint, listen to the audience, and allow competent writers to play with characters as much as they want without any 2 hours limit. And of course, hire writers who have only one agenda, to do justice to the characters they're writing for. Now, if you like this video, then please give me a thumbs up, grab the subscribe button, and turn notifications on. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter to get updates about my videos. Till then, I'll see you lads in the next one. And of course, a huge shout out to Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely, who gave us movies like Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame.